Hi everyone, welcome to Dear Masteries. Today we have a letter that reads, Dear Masteries, I've been following a low-carb diet and I'm losing a lot of weight, but I'm concerned I might lose too much. How would I stop losing weight if I did? Signed, losing too much. This, believe it or not, is actually a common concern among many people, and it is something that happens to your body over time where your body starts to burn fat really efficiently. Your hormones become really optimized. When you're doing a low carb, especially when you're into a ketogenic state, ketosis, and your body's burning fat as a primary fuel source, your system is just really adapted. It's really used to burning fat. And after a while, some people are kind of like, wait a minute, I'm getting too lean for what I want to be. And I don't like all the definition, and I feel like I'm really starting to lose a lot or too much. And I want to stop losing the weight. For others, that's not a concern, at least not yet. But if that does happen to you, there's a few different ways that you can actually stop the weight loss or manage it so that you just moderate your weight loss. It depends. Do you want to stay on, the high fat, medium protein and low carbohydrate style of eating and way of life? If you do, then you may want to put in a couple of high carb days. You might want to consider what's called carb loading or carb backloading or refeeding, and that will help you to not only bring in carbohydrates and glucose into your muscles, but it will help, depending on how long you do it, it will help to slow down the ketosis because it will actually stall it. Now, if you don't want to do that, then you're going to have to consider eating more protein, increasing your protein amount. If you really want to stay low on the carb side, increase your protein amount, and that might just kick you out of ketosis. And then there's also the option of eating a lot more calories. So, really eating a lot of fats and proteins. Typically, you don't have to be concerned with your calories when you're on a ketogenic diet, until you get to a really, really low body fat percentage. And at that point, when you're maybe 15% or lower, you would need to start considering your portion sizes or the total calories per day from a ketogenic diet. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't have to be concerned with that. So if you're trying to stop losing weight, though, you may want to just bump up your calories if you want to stay on the low carb style of dieting. Otherwise, I consider just go ahead and just try a different part of the weight loss octagon, maybe, where you wouldn't be so concerned with the weight loss part, but perhaps you want to jump over into either the macros section, or you want to go back up into standard. If you do, this is really just about calories. You can still do it healthily. Stay away from the sugars and the things that maybe are made in a plant. I don't mean outdoors, but I mean in a factory where things are processed and created as foodstuffs, and that should really help keep you healthy. And then just go ahead and start eating to get yourself out of ketosis and get your body back into using glycogen as its primary fuel source. Then go ahead, have some higher carbohydrate foods, and you will find that after a while you'll start maybe to increase your total body fat or your weight in general. Now, there's also different strategies that you can use should you want to focus more on the gym. If you want, you don't have to be concerned so much if weight's a concern for you, or maybe the size of your physique, and it's not so much body fat, but it's about the total weight. If that's the concern, then perhaps go on to more of a heavier weight training regimen. And you can stay on the ketogenic diet. Then you can stay on the low carb style of dieting, and then you can actually work on trying to build muscle and shaping your body differently. For a lot of people, they want to increase the curves in certain areas of their physique, and that would come about with muscle. So there's different ways to do that. I will be showing how to modify and adapt the body in a way that you might prefer. Everybody has their own conception of what the ideal physique is. Even bodybuilding judges, I know from experience, have different preferences sometimes when it comes to physiques. There tends to be a general agreement as to what a really great physique looks like, but you can still stay in the strong, you can stay in the lean. I wouldn't recommend being in the rip though. If you're going to stay on a ketogenic style of dieting, I wouldn't recommend rip because it's pretty strict, and you probably wouldn't get enough carbohydrates to really satisfy you. But you could also work into, in the lean and in the strong, you could work into more of a refeed style of carbohydrate loading then. And it could help you to optimize your workouts, to still, keep a low body fat percentage, but you'd be able to then build some muscle and in the right areas that you want to build and get those curves in the right places. I don't know if you're male or female, but everybody typically wants something different. And for a lot of the guys, it's usually the shoulders, arms, and chest area. For women, typically it tends to be around the hips. That's usually the areas that men and women want to work on, but everybody's different. So if you have any other questions, please let me know. Go ahead and you can submit another question at dearmasteries.com. All the instructions are there. And if anyone else has a different question, something on another topic, go ahead, send in your question, and if chosen, it'll show up here on the Dear Masteries blog. Thanks very much for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow.